My friends, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the live stream. Indeed, it is truly remarkable. I will give it a couple minutes here to warm up, and then we will get on and get right into the full 2025 year in review SPEEDLORE episode, which will be indeed truly and utterly remarkable. You know, many great records this year, and yeah, just like our pal Lemon Jack says in the chat, give a like to the stream. That'll help build the hype and the momentum and all that good and dandy stuff. Thanks, Lemon Jack and everyone else. And here, I think we can make a poll. Best untied world record of 2025. How many options can we add? Let's see. What's all train, bunker, Egypt, Caverns. Okay. There we go. We'll start a poll there in the chat. Look at that. Beautiful. And yeah. I'll say Spudnik. I think we're pretty cozy. Canuck Gus, that sounds pretty sick. I expect this lore to go maybe about 2 hours. And so I might be able to catch the Leafs game, the third period after I do the episode. They're playing a late one in Colorado tonight. So there you go. You know, hacker typing skills, very true. I have a beautiful, man, I've had this keyboard for about 10 years now. Thank goodness, knock on wood, that it's still working. It's a Ducky. I forget what exactly keys I have, but it's a good one. And yeah, what a remarkable evening for a SPEEDLORE. Thank you, Extremo, my friend. Thank you. And hello to Brisbane, Australia. A wonderful place. And host, believe it or not, host of the 2032 Summer Olympics. Brisbane, Australia. How will that go? Hopefully better than the Italy Olympics, which, you know, hopefully better than they build a hockey rink. Which is not going as well as perhaps one would hope. Which is pretty funny. I count on Australia to finish the venues pretty quickly. I'd like to get into that someday, Olympic content, sports content. Maybe I'll make a new channel someday. Maybe someday soon. Maybe 2026 is the new year. No reason to fear. My peers. We're in the clear. Stay dear. And, yeah. Brisbane, that's funny. Yeah, I know people pronounce Melbourne is what, you know. It's like, you know, Toronto is Toronto. What's up, Sewell? What a pleasure it is to see our old pal Sewell Iraq here live in the chat. SPEEDLORE champion. Well, that reminds me, before I get fully involved, what I must do, yes, I must pull the end card in. And for some reason, my things are being very unusual with the aspect ratio lately. But, 'tis the case. You could just make it wider. That looks like it'll do. Okay, so there's the end card. That is ready for the end of the stream. Perfect. Awesome. Fog Eye. Yeah, so this is insane. I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but this is like fast animation DLTK. And there's a guy who's beaten many levels here, and it's actually insane. But, yeah, I think let's get into it, baby. We got 100 people here. Let's dive in, my friends, shall we? I guess I'll leave this playing in the background as we start. Okay, so yeah, 5 minutes in. Perfect. Oh, now that would be insane. Our end turn. That would be. That would be. That would actually be an unbelievable video. Wow, that would be truly remarkable. I can see those going madly viral. Like, yeah, like I've been chatting, and you guys will see content on this channel that reflects this pretty soon. But I've been chatting with some guys who are big into the YouTube meta, and they're like, yeah, right now, like 2 hour plus videos are killing it in the algo. And so certainly speedlores are cool for that, but also these ideas of like compiled 2 hours of facts. So I'm probably going to put out a GoldenEye video soon that's like 2 hours long, an hour and a half of like half an hour of new facts and like an hour or two old of like, from like 3 or 4 years ago videos. And so the point is like 2 hours of Olympic facts and lore, 2 hours of, yeah, like, what are some other, there's too many Kentucky Derby facts, these kind of tournaments like Super Bowl. I mean, that would actually do really well. Who am I kidding? 2 hours of obscure Super Bowl facts. Oh my God. Yeah, no, these things would be insane. Awesome, Matt. I hope that you enjoy. Yeah. And it was funny because I realized, oh my goodness, I was gonna do this Monday. I planned this for like a week and a half now. I was like, oh, it's NFL playoffs, but I'm sure people love multi-tabbing and streaming these days, so there we go. Yeah, totally fun stuff. Okay. They could be megalithic China. They absolutely could be. Our good friend megalithic China. What a remarkable fella. Thank you, Jacob Davidson. Well, so the interesting thing is, as time goes on, a lot of it is still speedrunning. Certainly, it's almost like speedrunning is sort of the excuse to still play the game. And as you'll see, like, this isn't really a speedrun. What you're watching on screen now is a completion of Fast Animation Dark LTK, which is insane, But this run takes an hour 16, which is quite a long time. So we crack a cold lime bubbly. An hour 16. So it's not really a speed run. It's more of like a challenge completion. But yet, like, if other people complete the challenge, the total time is sort of the tie break, But yeah. Yeah, good to see you, Rad Attack? Is that how you pronounce your name, Rad Attack? After all these years, I've always seen you chatting and commenting. I've never put it together that it's probably Rad Attack. But oh yeah, the that's cool. Yeah, I'm kind of a cool background location, and there's a mirror. This is a mirror, so there is a bit of a perspective thing, and there is a controller on the wall. And the last thing I'll say before fully getting into it here, a good 10-minute warm-up, is we see Lemon Jack ask, any more Twine speedrun lore? Yeah, so I really am thinking this year, like, this is the year, to really keep pumping it up and doing bigger and better than ever. So I'm probably going to do GoldenEye speedlore again from the start. And I will probably do a few Twine speedlores as well. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. And if you look at the bottom, I have some new banners on the bottom there. I may try to stream some of that stuff to here, for one, YouTube, but also Kick and Rumble as well. So we'll see how these things go. Okay, yeah, no, it is kind of like that, Jacob. All right, let's get into it. That is interesting, Reno. Must be very... I don't know, Grandpa Connors. I was thinking the first episode might be Frigate Secret Agent. It might be Bunker 1 00 Agent. But a lot of those stages I did in 2017, that's 9 years ago. So there has been things that have happened. I would say I would start with the ones I did in 2017, maybe 18. So the two I named, Facility 00, Train Agent, Runway 00 Agent, Silo Secret Agent, Streets Agent? 111 did exist by the time I did Streets Agent, but yeah, anyways. So yeah, that's probably the plan, Baldo Death Metal. So we'll go from there. Alright, let's do it. My friends, hello and welcome to the 2025 Year in Review for GoldenEye SPEEDLORE. Indeed, this is a tradition that I've done. I believe 2015 was the first year where I did this. 10 long years ago, believe it or not. And so in this episode, I will go over all of the untitled records that happened in the year 2025, and we will watch them and chat about what makes them great and how remarkable they are and who set them and these sorts of things, as well as sharing some other interesting things that happened in GoldenEye speedrunning this year. You know, this was almost like a precursor to SPEEDLORE. I did the year in reviews before really doing the single level SPEEDLOREs. And so, you know, it's kind of a very cool thing to do, as here I am pondering perhaps the return of GoldenEye SPEEDLORE, going through each episode once again. On screen, we're seeing something that I will get into a bit later, which is a completion of Fast Animation Dark LTK. So maxed 007 mode stats with Fast Animation on. It is absolutely insane. A few levels have been completed, most of them in fact. We will get into that in due time. But let's park that for now and take a look at what can only be described as the list of untied world records that were set in the year 2025. So here we have them. And you know, I do want to point this out because last year I didn't actually do the normal kind of year in review. I did this sort of fireside where I pondered the slow death of GoldenEye speedrunning. We only had 2 untied world records set last year, in 2024 rather. But this year, 2025, certainly there was a revival. And if I did that video, you know, the death of GoldenEye speedrunning, it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. You know, there was some truth to it, but it was also a little bit tongue-in-cheek to, you know, hopefully inspire and maybe create a bit of a revival of GoldenEye speedrunning. You know, what comes after death? Well, sometimes nothing, but sometimes a revival. And so, believe it or not, we saw numerous untitled records with 11 seconds cut from the game. And so what a better place to start than watching these 11 untitled records. And the first one that was set was this one on Bunker 1 Double Agent by a fellow named Alex Dark. Actually, park the Alex Dark record. This is just a brief touch on to sort of show the tone of how we went into 2025 in GoldenEye speedrunning.
I disagree with that. I think it went kind of F tier with the world record strats. But
so Joris here is speedrunning Dam Agent. He wants to get the last world record of 2024 into 2025. You know, there was this sort of big renaissance on Dam, which we're seeing here, where if you do that look strategy and then strafe a certain way, the dam gates can be open. And it was kind of amazing this was not actually found until 2024, late 2024. But a lot of people ushered in the new year 2025 by playing Dam Agent and getting 52 seconds. You know, saves the button press. Is 51 possible? I think it might be. And Joris here strafes the dam, gets the door open, and gets a wonderful time of 52 seconds. And what was very silly about this, we can see him counting it down. Yes, he is and was the co-researcher for many of the episodes in the last few years, which was highly thanked and regarded. He's very pumped about this one. And
yes! Yes! Yes!
he's also dressed up as Sergeant Pepper. And I believe the reason he's dressed up as Sergeant Pepper has never been explained. Very pumped. But for some reason, he decided like to wait to the last second before posting it. And he's like waiting on the timer
Publish. How many seconds left?
Of the new
25
There's 25 seconds left.
seconds! Ah!
Wow, that's what a YouTube dashboard looks like in French. That's crazy. So he's looking to publish the time just before the new year. It says 23:59. He goes to the rankings. He's urgently wants to put it with 1 second left.
Alright, let's put... Ah! What have I done? Fuck!
And it looks like it might not go exactly as planned. I think he gets it in, but it's kind of been the subject of controversy for a year. But there you go, he posts it, and it says December 31, 2024 there. So he got it posted, a sigh of relief. The point here is to illustrate that, you know, even though, yeah, GoldenEye's getting more optimized and intense, there are still these silly stories and sort of side stories and various arcs that still go on. And yeah, he just decided to try to get the last world record of 2024, did, and sort of sets the tone of the chaos and unusual structure that 2025 would take on. So with that in mind, now we will get to this Alex Dark world record on Bunker 1 Double Agent. My friends, who is Alex Dark? Now, you know, it's hard to say how much exactly to describe in this regard, because obviously this person changed their online pseudonym for a certain purpose. And, you know, so I'll be respectful of that. They are the Perfect Dark champion and changed their name to Thunder Fury in Perfect Dark and changed their GoldenEye name to Alex Dark, which is sort of a generic, you know, username, kind of like Joanna Dark or Velvet Dark or whatever. And but he is a very skilled player, no doubt. And I guess he correctly identified that Bunker 1 Double Agent had a lot of tweaks and techniques and time savers that could be used to set a new world record. And let's just watch this run, and I'm going to point out something right off the bat that he did to get this 1 minute time. So check this out. So watch closely here. You watch the cutscene. Okay. Open the door. Right here, he shoots not at the guard, but towards Boris, alerting Boris. And now watch, Boris instantly starts moving away. And now this is a faster way to alert Boris, but you know, it is a bit risky because Boris can then run into the fire. And now he does a quick pause and wait there. There's like a chance Boris will run into the mainframe room, which he did. And now you have to settle down and just get rid of as much chaos as possible in this stage. And it's a very, very chaotic level. And now, you know, we're going through here. He's going to eliminate these guards. He is on the English version, not the Japanese version, which is worse auto-aim. So it's more difficult, actually, to... There we go, to eliminate all the guards. He goes for a self-boost on the box here, which is risky because he could have passed away. He only had 2 bars of health. Gets a nice boost up, no back boosts, and warps the door. And he gets a wonderful time of 1 minute. Beating a Clemens Untied of 101, and I believe Alex Dark here skipped from 103 to 1 minute on this run. Super well played run. Honestly, I have to give amazing props on this run. Alex Dark, unfortunately, you know, how do you put it? In a way, you can feel for the guy. In a way, he has his comments turned off on all his videos, which I find unfortunate. You know, maybe had some difficulties with people here and there in the community, and it kind of sucks that that's the way it has unfolded. But he's still obviously a very, very skilled and great player at these games. And, you know, thankfully he's still posting his times and still having videos widely available, still being put on the rankings. And so, you know, that's a good way to do it. Some communities, you know, they get out there and they just ban everyone for anything, and it's very strange and vengeant and frankly immature, honestly. But thankfully the GoldenEye Elite is a very mature community, and so this kind of thing doesn't happen. We'll watch this once more. And yet the main thing is, usually if you're not, you would shoot the guard beside Boris. And that is a little bit slower at alerting Boris, because Boris isn't starting to get alerted until you're within his radius. So that's a slightly earlier Boris alert technique. But now, like, he has a guard charging him. When I watched this run, I was so impressed. He has a guard charging him, which can do so much damage, gets hit like 3 times, still composes himself enough to get to that point and do the quick pausing and be in the right spot to catch Boris. That guard rolls, which is so troll. That maneuver was amazing to dodge behind the pillar. It really is such a cooked run and an impressive untied. I think I posted the slow death of GoldenEye speedrunning video 1 day before this record was posted. And so it's kind of like, well, immediately proving me wrong, which I thought was kind of funny. Now, I do wonder here if he lost like 1 or 2 seconds. Maybe 1 second, because C completed showed up before he was at the mainframe. And so is 59 possible? And the answer is like probably yes. And maybe even 58 is possible. But 1 minute is a really, really good time. Great untied. Amazing stuff to Alex Dark there. And it's interesting because here's this forum post from White Ted from 2020, which is, you know, I hate to say 6 years ago. What were we doing in 2020? I don't even want to say. You know, goodness gracious, 2020, this time of year, I laugh because I was paying attention to the state of the world. Most people were not. I knew what was coming, thanks to Steve Lookner on Agenda Free TV. But most people were clueless as to what was about to slam into the door in 2020. This post is from July 2020, actually. So White Ted must have been bored at home. And he made this forum post about all of this sort of techniques on how to get Boris to run earlier and earlier. And so much knowledge, so much skill and technique, you know, odds of turning to the mainframe room, staying in the middle of the big room to help his pathing, all this kind of stuff that would help. And yet it still took 5 more years for someone to use this knowledge, and even any of this knowledge, to get a new Untied. 101 by Clemens was set in 2019. And so White Ted posts this, and it's 5 years until Alex Stark uses this to go out there and get an Untied. And so it kind of makes you reflect like how much secret hidden knowledge is still out there to be discovered, to be unearthed, and even knowledge that is unearthed to then be put to use. But a very nice run there, and good stuff on Bunker 1. The next Untied comes from Yanni Pitkinen in March 18, 2025. Caverns 00128. Now, Yanni had untied Caverns Secret Agent, and so, you know, he's just trying to kind of go for it, untie 00, and I think at the time he pondered if he could go for the sweep by getting Agent 1 minute. But we kind of know what happened there. You know, someone else beat him to it. We're going to watch that run in a minute. But this is a very good run. 2.x control style, opens the door early. Let's check it out. Door open, full speed strafing out, really good look down. Shoots here. Tries to almost lure a boost. Uses that 2-mine strategy, really good strat. That scientist is passing away, so those 2 have to be freed. Very precise shots and mine throws have to be done there for that to succeed. And then we get into a beautiful spiral objective A completed. And we carry on. I think this run is perfect so far. Like, I wonder how low Caverns 00 can get. And, like, this run is, I would say, very close to perfect. It looks so good. Nice shot. Oh, wow, that was a really good second ammo. Gets a boost. Back boost there. So a tiny little back boost. What else do we got? Just going in here to the mine throw. Let's see this movement. Maintaining full speed. And in fact, that back boost on the box almost helped. He got one after that, but the box back boost almost helped because you're turning around that point anyways, so it probably helps your pivot point. Goes for a second, be a little hang up there. Hits the radio, the really clean movement out. Good idea to kind of take a refuge behind the scientist running. When you get it like that, you kind of know you might succeed. And he's in. 128. Great run. Really great run, honestly. Wow. So he got that run. Bands, great player. You know, Bands, I'll watch it once more just to give a bit of the Bands lore. I don't want to linger too much on these runs because we'll be here all night. I got a lot of runs to show, but Bands, of course, was this guy who thought his first Untied was on Aztec Secret Agent. But it wasn't, because Gus Riolo had beat him to it. I did a full video about that at some point. So then Bands went out and got Caverns Secret Agent 111 as his first Untied. And I suppose he was trying to go for the Untied sweep, which would be heroic in this year, 2025, to get an Untied sweep. And while he did come up short on that, he did get this amazing 128, which is a great run. And yeah, I'll focus here on the stuff that, you know, this. Again, it's kind of unfair. Like, the run is so amazing. It's an untitled record. No one has beaten it. Yet, you know, there's a back boost there, which is unfortunate. And then, it's just so funny to think that getting boosts would matter on Caverns Double Agent if you asked me in 2007, you know. So that box probably helped, but then that back boost, it's so hard to not get that back boost. It's a forward one there. The little bit of stuckage going into the radio room and the scientist, but this is a level probably in the top 5 most chaotic stages in GoldenEye. And so, you know, complaining about micro stucks is getting very picky. Amazing run by Bands. A huge congrats to him. I love that ding of the elevator. Nice. Nothing like seeing that Untied. So nice to see Untieds. Wow. Truly remarkable. Now, we got to move on to the next Untied, which is Chris G, at Egypt Agent 43. Now, this one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, 43 was known to be out there for a while. There's a lot of techniques that have evolved in this stage from when the record was 45-46. The biggest one we're going to see here is a tile warp. And, you know, there's a certain path you have to go in the Golden Gun Room. Yet, if you are able to... Actually, let's see if I can pull this up. Golden Gun Room path. Is there an image I can get? GoldenEye. Let's see, the path. Oh, yes. Okay. So, this won't, like, quite do the whole trick. But, like, you know, there's a certain path that you have to finally walk through. Yet, right off the bat, and you'll see where he does it, there's a sort of just enough of a disjoint in the tiles where you can actually warp through the sensors of the tile floor. And so when Carl Jobst got 44 as an Untied several years ago, you know, it was kind of like he did not use the tile warp yet at that point. So this is the first Untitled record we're going to see with a tile warp in it. And it's another one of those things too where, you know, Chris G he's a very good player with many world records. Of the sort of new era players, probably after Cali, he's like, you know, 1 or 2 of the highest world record setting players. I'm just looking at the total tally here. Yeah, check this out. I mean, I have way too many tabs open. You know how these things go. But look at the total tally here, which is an important thing to look at in GoldenEye history. You know, Cali is a new age player with up here 51, Wotus 56, and then we get into like the Chris G and Irie B and Joris. So like Chris G's always been a top new age player, but never had an Untied world record, and so this was his first Untied. Amazing job to Chris G on getting this run. And check this out. Yeah, so actually Psyche in chat with a super chat. A huge thanks to you, Psyche, for that super chat. Would I be willing to show off the alternative route to acquire the Golden Gun? Did I do that in a video? Let me know if I did that in a video recently on my main channel, on this channel. If I did, great. If I didn't, it's gonna be featured in an upcoming video. So here we go. The Chris G Egypt 43 untitled record. A great and truly remarkable record here. Nice music. Look down. Check this out. Warp right there. There's enough of a gap in the sensors to skip the kind of more intended path, and then you have to warp that door and land the shot. So insane. So insane. And then you have to, like, full speed. You barely audibly hear the groan. And you straight to the end, and all the death animations have to be perfect. Early shot there, as early as you can get, and then top, mid stairs death animation. Amazing, amazing run. I know Chris G grinded for a long, long time for this. Who wouldn't grind for a long time for this? What a run, what a rush. He's gonna watch the whole thing. And yeah, so in chat, there is an alternative route to get the golden gun. Ilu has a video about it. I've been meaning to include it in like a GoldenEye facts video. So I just have way too much to show tonight, but keep your eyes peeled for a future, GoldenEye facts and lore video. I will try to include that in there. Oh, thanks Mike V in chat for the super donation. A huge thanks to you, Mike V. Happy New Year's to you as well. What a wonderful time. And Chris G's pumped watching this one. He's pondering, will it be it? And it is. Like, that just looks so sick, man. I remember getting 46 as a world record and being pumped about it. Getting 43 is, like, that. It's insane to think 3 seconds have been cut on this stage. And I think the tile warp... Okay, so 2.x control style saves about 0.36. Okay, so 0.36 is saved there. And then the tile warp saves about 0.46, so that's going to be like 0.8 seconds. So like there's 0.8 saved, and then however much the warp here saves over just like the conventional method. So like if that's 1.5 seconds, that's a good amount of time, I would say. And I heard Chris G experiment with various things here, like doing kind of a loop-de-loop figure eight around the pillars, timing it to build full speed, which sounds honestly clever, and I love those kind of techniques, those sort of very niche person-by-person techniques. Great stuff, a great shot, an amazing run, so huge congrats to Chris G on this one. He's always been involved in sort of organizing the meetups of community members in the last few years. So he's a well-valued community member who's done a lot of good work for the community, and so are most. But he's he's a very responsible fellow, and this is first untied, so a huge congrats to him. Yeah, no room for error on a 43. That's a really good way to put it, Grandpa Connors. Well, we've seen the cutscene already here, but we see the completed 43. Amazing job. Amazing job. Good stuff. Wow. Okay, the next Untied was none other than July 24. Ilu finally got the Caverns 1 minute. I made a full video about this. It's a sick run. We're just going to watch it through twice. And really, I could honestly probably do a 2-hour lore just on... Well, I already did a 1.5 hour lore in Caverns Agent. I could almost do another 1.5 hours just on the quest for 1 minute from Mark's 101. It's a level I've spent a lot of time talking about with the Mark Roots who lost media and everything. But, just the notion that so many people tried for it, so many people grinded for it, and then Ilu, who's like this, probably the most beloved, legendary character in the community, who's still around and active today, got it with the sickest warp of all time. People have gotten 101 with 2-1 boost ratio, or 7-0 boost ratio, and Ilu gets like this 5-0 boost ratio run and it's the warp that does it. Like that, and I think, I think, I think the main thing with this is like, for years and years and years, should we have just focused on getting the most insane warp possible on stages like this, or Bunker 1, or Bunker 2, or whatever? Like, is there that much time to be saved on the final warp of a level? And like, the answer seems to be yes. It really, really seems to be yes. Is it? I don't know. It's just such an insane. I'm still blown away by it, and the fact that Elu, his last Untied was in 2010. Like, if we go down here, this is Elu's last Untied. So a random Surface 2 Secret Agent 50. So kind of like a weird Untied with a new throwing technique that Cliff Hampton kind of discovered. Cliff would lower that in 2 months. So Elu's last Untied was like a very unglamorous Untied world record. You know, and that is a long departure from a guy who in 07 and earlier was getting like Facility 0055 to become champion of GoldenEye. Aztec Untieds still. Like, you know, Aztec sweeps, jungle sweeps. All this insane stuff. You know, his last Untied being Service 250, kind of a random record that was beat pretty quickly, was a very unglamorous final Untied. And so for him to like come back 15 years later and get Caverns 1 minute, it's just like, it's so, it's like, you know, make a, you know, people hate my sports comparisons, right? But it's the GoldenEye equivalent of Tiger Woods winning the Masters in 2019 or Jack winning the Masters in 1986. That's what it is. And Elu did it. We saw it. And I've gone to great depth on a video on this channel, so I'm going to leave it there. But amazing stuff. So at that point, we see the total time of the game is now 1:10:05. It was actually 1:10:06 on the rankings because Frigate 21 was still off the rankings. That's a whole side story I won't revisit tonight. But things start to heat up. And so Irie here, who is like second place in the game behind Ace, and is a former champion of the game, he starts proposing like, let's get sub 110. And people, this inspired people to start posting the bounties about it. And, you know, I made videos about it. Certainly that I was not the driving force behind this. I think my video came out after Irie's post here, actually. So Irie was kind of the lead on this, like, let's make it happen. Everyone's offering $100 per second, $50 per second, etc. To the point where like it became, look, there's over 100 posts in this forum thread, which is uncommon in the year 2025. How many active forums still have hundreds of posts? You know, so it became quite a frenzy. A huge thanks to Swordfish in the chat with a $20 super chat. Thanks to you. Happy New Year to you. Truly remarkable, my friend. It's much appreciated. You know, it's the super chat bounty for telling the story of the bounty. So I appreciate that dearly. And yeah, everyone's like, let's see what Irie said here. We're gonna get sub 110 by 2026. Massive bounty. This will likely be the last minute barrier beat in the game, barring an insane new game or level breaking strategy. So there you go. It was intense, a frenzy, and we know how it played out. What's interesting is that here is a thread. There's a couple threads. This Destruct made a great thread saying, and this is before it happened, some of the past discussions about the viability. And so this is like, again, I could do lores for hours about this, the historical viability of you know, when will all of these barriers be broken? There's all these posts here talk about 117 back in 06, 115 in 06. Will 111 ever happen back in 2013? What will be the last GoldenEye Untied? Will this barrier happen? So there's been discussions for years and years and years. And it's so fascinating to dive into. And even this one, White Ted in 2021 goes, will 108 59 ever happen? And that's something to ponder now. I'm gonna read my post in this thread in a second because it's my post. I love it, but anyways, thank you to Kira in chat. Thank you for all your hard work making excellent videos. Oh, thank you so much for the lovely super chat. Stay true. Much appreciated tonight. Thank you all, folks, for all the love and support. And yeah, I'm glad this year I'm going to make even more content than ever before. So epic. Here, okay, my post. And like, I don't know, maybe people will find this post a bit unusual. Whatever. This is what it says, and I know a little bit is cut off. I don't want to mess around too much with it, but let's see what I can do here. I'll just read the parts that are cut off. The discussion around 108.59 reminds me a lot of discussion around cryptocurrency, and in particular Bitcoin. Initially, in the early stages of something progressive, there's generally disbelief. When Bitcoin hit $1 in 2011, there were surely tons of people thinking, wow, that's crazy, but I doubt it'll ever hit $10 or $100. Then in 2013, once it passed $100, surely there were folks saying, okay, this is absolutely insane, surely it'll never hit 1,000 or 10,000, yet it did. Similarly, in the early stages of GoldenEye, those in disbelief would have said, there's no way we're ever going to hit like 115.59. They disbelieved similarly about 114, 13, 12, etc., but these all happened with relative ease. But then, as time goes on, and as things continue to happen, people get more and more bullish or greedy. People begin to take for granted that the next insane thing will happen, so people become complacent, believing that 108.59 will easily happen, or that Bitcoin to 1 million will definitely happen. Both of these things could happen, but as time goes on, the exponential growth eventually drives closer and closer to some far-off asymptote that it is always chasing, but may never get to. There is some theoretical max on GoldenEye's in-game time world records. It could be 109.02, or it could be 47.47. We will probably never actually know. So who knows? That's something to ponder. You know, will sub 110 happen? We know it did. It was amazing. Will sub 109 happen? That's sort of like the next far-flung futuristic thing to ponder. And we will ponder that while watching this remarkable run, which helped us get there. This is a run by the one and only Perfect Ace. And this was sort of him. I made a video with this one too. It's a run where he just sort of knows, like, look, I can get this untied with relative ease. He's a very skilled player. He knows how to play the stage. When he got the previous record of 38, he didn't push it down too much. And he's like, let's just go for it and do it up. And he did. And he did. And so look, we got to give some run dedications tonight. This run is going out to our SPEEDLORE champion, David O. A huge thanks for your support of SPEEDLORE over the years on Patreon, David O. Let's check out the Bunker 2 Secret Agent 37 by Perfect Ace. Warps the door, big slap, opens Nat's door. Nice shot. It's quite insane to do this with no auto aim on, but like, you know, he's Ace. He knows where he has to kind of focus to aim. That shot on that camera is like the kind of the main thing that did it, I would say. Barely gets that guy with the key card. Like a lot of like barely completing shots. Back boost there is a little bit unfortunate, gets a really nice boost through there and warps out. Bingo bango, baby. He does it. He does it. Bunker 2 SA, 37 seconds. Great record. And in fact, he actually has some commentary here, so we'll watch his commentated run on stream as well. Here it is.
At the moment. No, that's not good. Now it is. So it has to be focused. Alright, where is it? Yeah, I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see the day. I was busy doing some stuff on the side, but while I was waiting for something to happen, I decided to boot this game up and play a little bit of B2SA, and I really did not expect it. somehow clutch it. I wasn't even expecting this to be 37, but I should shut up and play the run first, and then we'll talk about all that stuff. Is this the run? No. Yeah, this is the run. Oh yeah, I want to make sure the audio levels are good. Bad cinema, sort of, doesn't really matter for this strat. Pretty standard start, except getting extra clubs always helps. This was insane. Yeah, that was crazy. That probably saved it. It honestly might be 36 pace to that point.
Back.
Yeah, it's...
Well, that boost did make up for that stuck on the glass.
Yeah. Alright, so I at least know there's no frame drops.
That's always good to know there's no frame drops on your run. The one thing I want to point out again is like the micro adjustment he makes here is honestly so impressive. Like he shoots the first 2 shots of the spurt of KF7, which comes out in 3s, hits the guard's shoulder, and he knows that he needs to, in like a split second, instinctively, he's moving to hit the guard's chest and head to eliminate him, to get a necessary object. Or at least to get, you know, to pass him away and pick up the tape and then carry on. And, you know, it's just so much instinctual skill and experience is going on there that it's just amazing. So what a wonderful run there by the one and only Perfect Ace. Now, of course, Perfect Ace would show up again, but what I'm going to show is actually a Henrik failed run. So, you know, we all know there was a huge rivalry on Train, which has gone on for 10 to 15 years. And, you know, between Henrik, Ace, and Mark. And, you know, they've been trading times back and forth, and now it's mostly Henrik and Ace. This is actually Henrik in 2021, playing Train Secret Agent. And when he got 122 as an Untied, I actually unhoarded that for him. He came to me to ask me to do it in a SPEEDLORE episode with this amazing Oro shot, the far Oro shot. The problem with the Oro shot is, since you're like a little bit out of the room, you have less time to do the locks. And he looks, you know, human on these locks. Because we'll see, you have to get out like now. And he got out like a second and a half later. And so Natalia's message comes up on coming, James. You don't want her to say that. You want her to remain in the train doing her hacking objective. And, you know, that's... So Henrik just had slightly slower locks than required on this run. He's just pumping down there. Natalia got hit, whatever. It is what it is. And he just leaves as if the run completed at a normal time. You know, if he just completed the locks a second faster, this would have completed. And it would have given him a 121, but it didn't. And yeah, the date, look, February 2021. So, you know, that's quite something to ponder. Is that, like, we knew this run was possible for 4 years until it happened. And then finally Ace went out and got it this year. It's like either of them could have gotten it, you know? And that's just the way it goes sometimes. Huge thanks first to Fog Guy in chat, who just joined the Goose Pond 2.0 is a member of the channel. So a huge thanks to him. And yeah, this 121 by Perfect Ace will go to our SPEEDLORE champion, FC Bojangles. A huge thanks for all your support of SPEEDLORE over the years. Let's watch Ace complete a Train Secret Agent 121. So Ace totally did use the trick where the audio is messed up because he left his console on for like days at a time. Step back. He really does a full back strafe to kind of align himself. But you gotta go clean up this room, eliminate those 2 guards, and then you have to do the locks. And we see like Henrik missed at the top 2 locks on that 121, didn't get out there. And those locks were basically perfect by Ace, time to spare. On Secret Agent, you don't have to worry as much about like passing away here. On Double O, it's terrifying being out here. Honestly, I hate trains so much. I'm so bad at it. My personal records are worth less and less points as time goes on, but I'll probably never play it again. I think Ace gets the same end decimal as Henrik done the fail. No, they're like 30. They're both 30.6. Yeah, that's right, Grandpa Connors. Henrik is the ace of Twine. 121. Great run there. Good stuff by Perfect Ace. What a legend. He did it, and so more and more time is being trimmed from the stage. And we're thinking, wow, okay, so train is happening. It's happening. And then, you know, something really, really, really happened. And that was the discovery of the train strategy. And I know, obviously, I've gone into immense depth on this. In a video, it was about the, you know, new strategies and so on and so forth. Post new strats. You know, it was just the craziest thing to discover the train locks warp. Here it is. Train locks warp. This has the potential to be a huge discovery. Only the potential. So, again, I think something that we find interesting here is that... Okay, actually I should talk about this first. So, White Ted was sort of the previous strategy discoverer in the past, like, 5-10 years. And, like, Henrik was kind of the first tool-assisted investigator before then, you know, finding these cool strategies, and he still does. But that torch kind of got passed to White Ted. White Ted found some stuff like, you know, especially he refined the Frigate strategies on all difficulties, and the surface one, out of order keys, which still hasn't been successfully used. But yeah, White Ted decides in February he's going to sort of leave and retire. And he's saying, you know, there's good times that he had. You know, they got Runway 21 with Berg. All this stuff. Man, funny stuff. And he says he might come back when Frigate 21's ranked and all these other things. So, you know, it's time to leave. The community, he decides. And so Onslaught kind of takes the torch from him and discovers, well, both the dam stuff that we opened this video with to get the gate open instantly, and also the train locks warp. Potential that be a huge discovery. Yeah, you can just Arlene out the door. And he told Sean John about it, and Sean John took about 10 minutes to get it. And then I think even Onslaught was considering, like, keeping the knowledge to himself, not for a hoarding purpose, but to refine it better. And he confided in Sean John, and Sean John's like, no, this is actually quite, like, simple. People can pull this off. Let's do it. Let's make this gold rush happen. And so the strategy was published. And, you know, I like... these posts are kind of funny. You know, how much you want to delete that post. It's huge. I can finally get Train 107, so funny stuff. And then it happens. And among it happening is Cali W playing. The record at this point is 55 seconds. And many of you will know how the story went. Probably all of you, honestly. So the record's 55 by Henrik. And Cali's playing through it. And Cowley's, you know, again, he's a very good player. Someone in chat asked about Cowley. Where's Cowley been? And, you know, this year I'm sure he's busy with life and school and so on. But when this strategy came out, he thought, okay, you know what, I gotta find some time to play it. Kind of reinvigorated him. So he gets here. Gets in here. Goes for it. No, out. Runs to the end. Oh my goodness gracious. Truly and utterly remarkable. He's gonna think he gets the untied. It's like, oh my god, the record was 55. Will this beat it? It did. 54. He goes to post it and sees this run on the rankings. A run, a very frankly remarkable and historic run that's going to go to our SPEEDLORE champion, Noah. A huge thanks to Noah for your support of SPEEDLORE over the years. Let's check out Weister, what he got almost simultaneously with Cowley's 54. And, you know, you can just, again, Cowley's a great player, but he's never been a train specialist, never really threatened for a world record on train, on any difficulty. And again, it's only been Mark, Ace, and Henrik for like 15 years on train. Like, it really has been. I'll show it after we're through with this train arc. So Weister setting up, not quite, there's through. Strafe into the end, baby. Till the day we... Who knows? Who knows? That's interesting, Valium. I didn't know that Ace's train PAL console was resetting, giving him problems there. But here we go, Weister at 53. A great run. Historic run that cut 2 seconds off of the total time. And so we only needed, we were at like 1:10:01. We needed 2 more seconds cut. And then what happens? But of course, Ace gets perhaps the most historic run, well, of the year, and certainly a remarkable run. Amazing speedrun that we're going to dedicate to our SPEEDLORE champion. And this one goes to the one and only Soul Rock. A huge thanks to the Soul, the Soulinator. Ace just cooks it. Again, if you compare this side by side with his 55s of Henrik and Ace, using the locks in the olden days, it's about a 1 to 2 seconds slower run. You know, those runs were so cooked over 15 plus years of play. This is still a very good run, where it's a very fast lock sword, but it is expected if these guys played this stage for hundreds of hours, they could maybe get 48. If not, yeah, 48-ish, something like that. It's truly and utterly remarkable. He got it, baby. He got it. Train Agent 50. What a time, what a rush. Let's watch it once more for old time's sake. Warps through the boxes. Breaks the boxes. Busts through. Amazing stuff. Breaks the brakes. Sometimes I call them locks by accident, because like instinctively locks are the things that you're like most commonly breaking in the game. And like breaking the brakes just sometimes, you know, just doesn't sound that good. Interesting insight in chat. Grandpa Connors says Cowley wants 49. Interesting. Will we see the 49? What will it be? While Soul Rock is in chat for his dedication. A huge thanks, Soul. I know Fog Guy. Fog Guy in chat says, I still find this warp hard to believe. It is. It is very hard to believe. But it happened, and that's the crazy thing with these games, is like, You know, I went back and re-listened to that interview I did with Doak a few years ago, and listened to him talking about the sort of triangles in the game and how they match or don't match, and that can cause warping through the architecture. And so it was kind of insightful re-listen while considering the context of Train. So that was kind of funny and epic. And yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. What a rush, what a run. Train Agent 50. He did it. And that brought us to 109.58 on the total time. So here's the rankings today. 109.58. Train. Untied sweep by Ace. Man, that's crazy. Because I remember Henrik's untied sweep of 55. And then 122, 148. You know, if I go back like here. Okay, perfect. Go back here. Regular records. All records. Sometimes this site can take a minute to load. And we go to the train section. Like, when was the last time someone other than... So, Cowley got actually credited with a tie to 53. Moments before Ace got 50. But, you know what? When was the last time someone other than Ace, Henrik, or Mark Rutsu had a record on the stage? Like, let's go back and look. Like, it's insane. So Clemens in 2010 had 1 minute. The last time someone on Secret Agent had a record other than those three is it Lou in 06? Boss in 06 before that even early strat was found. And then again on 00, it's Boss in 06, Lou in 06. So quite literally, on Train's Secret and Double Agent, no one aside from Ace, Henrik, and Mark has had a record on those stages for 20 years. That's unbelievable. What more can I say? Okay, Vinny in chat says, Goose, I have a topic of a world is not enough gaming oddity video for you that I do not believe anyone has ever covered before. Please, Vinny, tell me more about it in chat. I'm going to take a 2-second hiatus here to close a bunch of tabs because I'm getting a lot of tabs. You know, I'm up to 57 tabs open. So let's do this. So I'm going to start to close a pile of these tabs that I've shown previously. And I would love to hear about that gaming oddity as we move on here. This and that, you know, these gaming, there's some interesting stuff in Twine. It really does make me ponder. I was hoping to hang out with Ace this, you know, winter holiday break. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But something that I love to talk about with Ace is these sorts of just oddities, potential, like where can the games possibly go? How much more can happen? And there's certainly a lot left out there still in GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. But certainly a game like Twine, there's going to be a ton. All right, let's check it out. And so the point being as well that we are now caught up. We've shown all the untieds of the year, but I still have about just as much other unusual runs, interesting runs to show. And so we're going to get into that right now. Okay. Facility. So here's the rankings. Epic. 109.58. What are some other untieds that could still happen? And, you know, we touched on this earlier. Can we cut 59 more seconds into 108, 59? Who knows? We can cut like 5 seconds off of Aztec 00. Don't know how that's still the record. I love that it is. I don't know how that is still. A lot of these records can have a lot more time cut. Lemon Jack, next video upload soonish. I don't have one finished right now. This stream is kind of like an in-between, but I have like 4 that I'm working on for the next like couple weeks. So like soon. After this stream, this year in review stream, we're gonna get to we're gonna get back on track to about 1 or 2 videos a week. So there you go. Okay, what's a record that could have happened but didn't happen? Okay, well, okay, now we got Vinny chiming in with the lore, the twine lore. There's an uncredited Valentin Zukovsky caviar logo that I found in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, tied back to twine. I can explain more in detail, but it is very odd. Wow. Oh, okay. I would, like, you're gonna have to tweet at me or email me that, because I would love to see it. I just finished the poll. It was the best Untied of 2025, and Train Agent 51, which is awesome, 186 people voted. Let's do another poll here for the second half. Untied to happen in 2026. Let's do most likely Untied to happen in 2026. And let's do 3. Facility, Secret Agent 50, Aztec 00 132 or lower, and I don't know, Silo 00 119. Let's do that and see what happens with that poll, my friends. Okay, epic. Yeah, suspicious links. I've certainly thought about doing that kind of speedlore, focusing on one player, and I was almost going to go right ahead with it at some point. But you know, maybe we'll get to it. Maybe there's still time for us to get to that and figure that out. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that is what I'll go with. I haven't fully announced or decided what I'm going to do in terms of returning to GoldenEye speedlore. So there we go. Another nice cherry bubbly. And yeah, let's get into the second half of this episode. Okay, Lemon Jack asks, did you ever play the GameCube game Agent Under Fire? I played one of them. I don't think it was Nightfire. I think it was Agent Under Fire. But, you know, I actually forget. I would have to, like, replay it. And my GameCube is experiencing the thing that a lot of GameCubes experience, the laser fading. So I need to try my Wii to restore my GameCube memories, which, who knows, maybe one of these days I'll make some GameCube videos or stream me playing GameCube on Kick or Rumble. Who knows? Okay, here's a run. Speaking of Untieds that could happen in the new year. This is a run by True Faith Clemens. It is none other than him playing Facility Secret Agent. The record is 51, as we can clearly see here. Okay, 51 seconds. Ace, Clem, Callie, and Tommy. What a collection. Man, I forgot that Callie got these. What a beast. And, yeah, let's check it out, baby. Let's see this remarkable record. And in fact, you know what? This is a cool run. Let's dedicate this one to our pal, Roadblock, Speedlore champion Roadblock. Let's take a look at this run. Good self-boost on Secret Agent here. One headshot. Really well played. Someone's got a boost out of that door. He doesn't get it. Shoots down here. Headshot on that guard. That's cool. Really fast-paced music. Boost here. Using this technique, we can get 2 Dokes. So if Doke is in this room, he would have said hi to him. He's not there. If he was in the normal spot, he would say hi now. Not there. Warps this. It's a tiny stuck there. Boost, though. Trev sees him. Mines are down. Detonates them. Check this out. It's insane. 50. Failed Doke. Can you believe that? Clemens was this close to untying Facility Secret Agent 50, which would be an insane record. I think he's still kind of playing for it. This was September. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable record and run. I mean, what more can you possibly say? Let's just watch that once more. What a great run to marvel in. When I first watched this, the title of this video is 50 fails stuck. I thought it was like, they count that as a stuck. I was like, that's pretty picky of Clemens if he counted that as a stuck. It was like one shot into the wall. I doubt the doke. It almost looks laggy. I don't know if it can get too much laggier. Avoiding that back boost was sick, but like, you're kind of, the time is kind of stuck there waiting on that card to open the door. Amazing lines. Shocking time, frankly. What an unbelievable thing to see. Speaking of unbelievable things to see, this is the chart of GoldenEye's longest standing untied world records. And we can see here, it's quite remarkable, but Ace's facility, Agent 42, has now surpassed legendary times such as Mark Rutsu's Dam 00155 or Clemens's Bunker 2 Secret Agent 44 and the likes. And now Facility Agent 42 is the oldest world record in the game. Longest standing untied, rather. Not quite the longest standing overall, but it's quite remarkable. Will anyone tie Ace's 42? Well, someone by the name of Mark Rutsu was somehow unbelievably close to actually tying it. Let's watch this run. This is our last run dedication of the night, and it's an unusual run, which goes out to our SPEEDLORE champion, Mr. Moxie. A huge thanks to our pal, Mr. Moxie, for all of your support of SPEEDLORE on Patreon. So Mark Rutsu... Oh my god. I'm curious to hear what he says, if anything. Listen to the music cue, it's gonna be insane. That like G note, he's warping for objective A when he plays. It's so fast. Oh my god.
Oh! Oh my god, it could have been it! TNS? Oh my fucking god! That was so close! I kind of choked.
I love how the clip just like falls off there. So Mark Rutsu has been streaming a little bit here and there, attempting to go for this time, but he's also been playing a lot of San Andreas. So we can see, look, this is all one stream from 5 days ago where the stream drops every like 5 minutes. So like it's 2026, and unfortunately he still has like stream drop issues. I don't know what to say about Mark Rutsu, man. I mean, we wish him the best. We really do. He just can't get his stream together. He's just such a skilled player, but unlike Clemens and Ace, who have kind of... Man, I don't want to get too pontificational here. We just wish Mark had a better stream, I suppose. It's watchable, but it drops frames, and you don't want him to drop a frame in the middle of a 42 run.
Oh my god, it could have been it!
I like how it says it could have been it before it happens, but I know English is his second language. It could be it.
TNS? Oh my fucking god! That was so close!
That, oh my god, is, so it reminds me of the Dr. Soviet incident. I did so much editing on that on Silo 00, and it really took me back to that. So look, Mark almost tied 42, and like he still could, and that would be sick to see in 2026. Will it happen? Will someone tie the longest standing untied? Certainly has a target on its back. Will it happen? Nobody knows. Yeah, Rutsu's almost innovate. Oh my god, Mr. Moxie just tuned in time to get his run dedication. That's insane. Yeah, it's just unbelievable stuff going on in GoldenEye still. Okay. Surface 200, Clemens had this untied in 2020, which was a pretty long-lasting untied. Like, stuff from 2020 is starting to make it on this list, you know? So when do you get this? October 5. So Clemens' 118 could have been the longest standing untied, but my apologies for the loud noise. Irie slayed it, and Alou also tied this record, but I've already shown an Alou run. Irie's repping his San Jose Sharks swag. They got great draft pick Macklin Celebrini. Unbelievable generational talent on the team now. And, yeah, I apologize for that jump scare, my friends. So Irie takes that camera. He takes a deep breath. He's going to kind of do the conventional technique here. Shooting through the wall. Nice. This. I don't know how, I do not know how people hit that. It makes me so angry. I've never hit on a run. I'm too old and washed up, which is why I tell the stories now instead of playing. Whoa, first shot. That's so sick. The British window, I believe we call it. He knows it could be the run. Man, it's just so insane. Well, Elou's failed 114 with other strategies. But he's so pumped. 118, baby, does it. He's very pumped watching this again. What a smile. The kind of smile only a man with an untied world record, with a tied world record, can have. So pretty cool. Illu is a completely different technique here. Let's check this out. Okay. So Illu's run, he does a nade strategy. Oh, insane look up early on. Coming around here. Coming around the mountain. Oh, the double back for a nade. I believe Illu, you actually could hear this. Listen closely. So Illu made a thing of, on his stream, for people just like listening in another tab, he would say the word nade whenever he got a nade. So Illu doesn't do that first camera, he does the first cam last. So watch this. You have to get a nade, you have to hit that shot, then you have to hit this shot, which is like so insane. Which he does. Then instead of using the nade on the comms link, which we used to do for 20 years, Illu comes over here, does the window, hits it, but you don't see much of A complete, which sucks because you did the first cam last. Hits the British window despite so much lag, throws that nade, completes objective A there. Such an it is a faster strategy. He's failed 114.
I think I tied the world record.
See, he knew it was a tie.
Oh, I don't think he's enough now. Shit. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, I got something out of this at least.
I think he's going to appear in the bottom right here now. I was wondering if he was going to say anything insightful. He's just holding up a lighter or a candle or something. Wow. Remarkable stuff. So yeah, you know, we could certainly see. Yeah, I think he was going for the bounty. This was done 4 weeks. This was done the same day Ace got 50. So it's like, you know, could he get? He almost got the bounty. If he got 114, he would have broken it instead. So that would have been totally insane, right? Illu's still playing, still grinding, even after all these years. Yeah. Okay. So if we look at the longest standing on tides, we see Cowley's Surface 1 146 is here. His 147 00 agent was also here, but Ace slayed that. So let's watch Ace's slay of this Surface 1 00 147. Looks like he went behind the hut, which is pretty remarkable. A little bit slower of a path going behind the hut, but you get less back boost, so it's probably more consistent to get an insanely fast run. Oh, I apologize, Mr. Moxie. A British window. I mean, on Surface 2 00 agent. Yeah, I guess that I might not have explained that terminology during that Surface 2 00 lore. I must have. I don't know. I just haven't used it for a long time. And there was all sorts of debate as to, like, naming it. It was a very weird thing. I'll get into it when we revisit Surface 2 00. So Ace self-boosts there, which is cool. Another forward boost. Gets the key. Nice shot and boost. The pit boost. Another boost. Yeah, thanks, Baldo Death Metal. If you're one of the 200 watching who hasn't liked, give it a like. That'd be wonderful. I appreciate that. It helps grow the stream and spread the word of GoldenEye speed lore. Here we go. Nice shot. Nice door open. I very only loosely remember doing this Surface 2 00 agent speed lore. I don't remember much of it. It was one of the last ones, I think. That's one I don't remember very well. Nice shot, break the locks, warp up and in. Yes, the SPEEDLORE final exam. Wouldn't that be something? So Ace slayed this 147 early in the year. Insane safe pickup and whole entry. Yeah, nothing like that. Good stuff. Very epic 147. Good run. Good run. Deminator in chat asks, what lowered the record on attack ship from 206 to 203? Honestly, I don't know enough of it, Deminator. And it's been a long time since I've pondered Perfect Dark. So I will have to, like, catch up on my Perfect Dark skills in order to, and knowledge to educate you on that. But what's your least favorite mission? Definitely train, Lemon, train, no doubt. And yeah, let's carry on. So here's something interesting. This fella Frosthops, his PR history kind of took a big break. You know, for a couple years, he was a big Frigate 00 player. But, you know, somehow Frosthops returned. And got Frigate Double Agent 103. A good run. Thank you, Deminator. So let's shout out to this Frosthops. I think it's a 3-way tie between Ace and Sean John, which is a pretty remarkable thing. The level's so luck-based. I spent thousands of hours playing Frigate back in 06, 07 when I should have been, you know, building a life for myself instead. God forbid. So I will probably never play Frigate instead. I'm half serious, by the way. I'm serious about never playing Frigate again, as well. There's no point. It's too luck-based. It's an insane rush when you complete a run on Frigate, but it's just not something I see myself investing hundreds of hours into. at this moment in my life. So is there any notes here? I got some notes made for this SPEEDLORE. Oh, that's why. That's why. Because again, it's remarkable in that, you know, look at that. Wow. I gotta check this out. So 103 is the record. Again, it's shared with a bunch of people. It's amazing. You know, look at truly remarkable. However, when we talk about lowering the overall total time, look at objective A completing. Oh my god. So if he was in the boat now, would have completed. So like, definitely this run could have completed a 102, maybe even a 101.00. And like, Ace has paced 101 with the hostages not completing. Is Frigate 00101 possible? Is this more and more time that could be cut from these games? You know? Time will tell. Gotta shout out this one. Tommy, the big Tommy man, underground rapper from Virginia. Quite a guy. He got this Facility Secret Agent 51, which, again, only Ace, Clem, and Callie has. Tommy, you know, what's he ranked? He's ranked in the 30s. He's been grinding for a long time. He's a top dog. He's a good dude. Tommy got the run of his life here. The run of his life. Getting a share of this great record. So, amazing job to Tommy. If anyone knows where that girl screaming is from, shoutouts to you. I'll leave it at that. If you know, you know. It's apparently one of the I can't even say much more. Okay. It's like a neat, what do you call it? A niche cult movie is where it was from. Tommy goes in there, no Doke, but there's Doke. So he gets him on the comeback. So if Clem got that, Clem would have got 50. Wow, Logic Space knew it. Logic Space, bang on. Oh, insane positioning for the completion. I love it, Tommy, I love it. What a run, what a rush. Nails it with the 51. Wow. Great run by our guy. Okay, so that's a bunch of cool runs. There's a handful of other interesting things to ponder from 2025 in GoldenEye. There's this thing every year called the Match Play Cup, or Brabom Cup, named after the guy Cal, not Callie, Cal, who founded it. It's like a head-to-head mode where you play each level in the game one try and try to beat the other person. So the finals were Clem versus Callie. So if I go to the very end here, 8 to 6, where's like a pivotal point here? 7 to 4. What's the level they're playing? 7. So like they both got to play through train here. We see enough train. I'll go to jungle. Okay. So okay, Clemen's up 7 to 6. So it's still close.
Oh my god.
So what'll happen is Callie will play jungle, and then Clem has to beat whatever time Callie puts on jungle.
No, you actually clutched it though. I mean, like, I was surprised that you even got those locks. I thought you were gonna miss them like 4.
The thing is, yeah, the reason I didn't get it there was because I didn't run into the last one. I didn't fully YOLO it. If I didn't run into the last lock, it would have. I was like.
Yeah, you probably should have done that like ace strat.
Okay, so Clem is going first.
Alright.
Oh, well.
This is a one-try scenario. And they've been doing this
Wow,
versus
are
cup.
you actually kidding me? I got screwed by the tree. That's the first time I've seen that.
They've been doing this.
The tree like ate the momentum and it just didn't fly. I don't know. It's very rare. It only happens like 1 in like 100 runs. I don't even know what causes it. It was a perfect throw, but it just didn't fly.
Even going back for that, You could still get like a time in the 50s, I
That's
think.
not good either. Yeah, I honestly just have to hope that you just get fucked with anyways.
Oh my god. You know, in a one-try scenario, we all look human
Yeah,
playing this
honestly,
game.
More of it comes down to setting
I mean, that Xenia was pretty trash.
Oh my god.
I still could have got like 55 or something on that. Oh well, at least I completed it.
Wow, 107. That's so funny getting 107. His best time's 49.
107. Okay.
It's so dumb because like, it was a good throw.
Yeah.
So now Cowley's got to beat
And I've never been able to figure out
107.
what causes that. Even to this day, I still haven't been able to figure it out. You just have to hope that it doesn't happen.
So Cowley, much better start than Clem. He's well ahead.
The boost.
Unless something insane happens, he should tie it up here.
I feel like we're pretty even on Caverns too, so.
Or rather, Cowley will take an extended lead here.
You're better at Cradle though.
Looks things are going smoothly for Cowley. Well, a bit of a back boost there. Again, a one-try... Oh my goodness. That's intense to manage. He needs the weapons. That's it.
I think it's still faster than 107 though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, should still be an easy one.
Unless something goes wrong here.
Yeah, this should be like 102 or 103. I feel like we're both just like
Yeah.
Looks like he's in.
getting the shittiest runs on like import.
103. So yeah, there you go. And it looks like at the end of the day, Clem came from behind after that. And they tied on Cradle, and Clem won with an Aztec 151. And so that's how you play the the Brabom Cup. It came down to the bonus Aztec, which is really insane. And they did it up, and that's what happened. So it's a cool little format. It gets a lot of people playing, even if they're not like a top ranked player. It's a lot of people involved. Crazy upsets happen, and that's a cool thing that they've done the last few years. And I think they'll probably continue to do it here in 2026. Okay, here's the point where we get into, the insane silo DLTK. So there was a huge rivalry on silo DLTK between Blaze M and Adam Boson. And they went back and forth a couple times, twice this year. Blaze got silo 631, Boson got silo 627. Amazing stuff. I really just want to shout that out. I'll show the last 2 minutes of the run. I'm just going to take a quick 1 minute break here. So let's watch the last 2 minutes of Boson's silo DLTK. So we're here, completes it. Okay, watching the last 90 seconds. And I will be right back. Wow, wasn't that truly remarkable? What an amazing run by the one and only Adam Boson, another siloed DLTK completion. Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, epic. And so what's insane is that, you know, as much as DLTK is crazy, there's someone trying something even more insane. This fella by the name of Mano Cheese is trying to do an even harder mode. And Mano Cheese is really funny. I should probably do a full video sometime about this guy. He's big into these insane challenge runs about, like, beating games under the most difficult circumstances. And, man, even that formatting in his text is amazing. Doing a gradient on an old drop-down forum is not easy. But he's quite a guy. He's been around for a long time. He came up with some, like, Ocarina of Time Extreme Uber Challenge, and now he's trying to beat levels on DLTK with fast animation. And we can see they've actually, between him and the community, they've actually beaten a lot of them. The surfaces are hard because spawning guards. Bunker 2 was one that he recently did, which I might do a full deep dive on it. But, like, this is him playing Caverns, DLTK fast animation. I know I had it on to start the video, to start the stream tonight. And it's just like, it's just, this run took over 1 hour, 16 minutes. And he's like, so it's DLTK where it takes 10 shots for the guard to be eliminated, but then it's also fast animation. So, like, did that guard get alerted? Yeah, so this guy got alerted. So it's like, even more than normal DLTK. Like, one mistake and you're totally done. So it's just unbelievably insane. And, yeah, we're 12 minutes in. Let's get up to here, 28 minutes in. Let's see him take out one more guard here. Just painstakingly waiting to alert the guard. And he knows what he's doing. These sort of mystical movements and aims and stuff. Yeah, he did a Bunker 2 run recently that took 8 hours. I think that's going to be a main channel video, is like the insane GoldenEye run that took 8 hours. That would be cool, Mystic. I could leave that on overnight, yeah. Who knows? Anyways, you can see guard by guard how insane this is. He does it. Amazing shoutouts to Chizo Man. Great stuff. Okay, Tyler P. If we look at Tyler P's PR history, we can see that he completely stopped playing after 2003 and 04 until 2020 when the thing happened. The cool thing with Tyler P is after a 16-year hiatus, he's come back and made the top 10. So a huge shout out to Tyler P. And I just want to show his Bunker 1 SA20. It's not even the world record, but it's one of his best times because 19 is just insane by Ace. 20 is really good. I've actually never watched this run. So he does do this strategy. Insane strat that Ace and GoldenEye cooked up. Nice camera shot. Switch to 2.x ending. So I just wanted to, you know, acknowledge a huge shout out to Tyler P for reaching the top 10 in the game of GoldenEye 007 after, you know, leaving it in 04 and coming back, you know, thanks to whatever happened in the world in 2020. I forget. Just kidding. And it's interesting because we can see, like, look, Boss actually did get knocked out of the top 10. He PR'd on Train to get back in, but, like, that's kind of a time that, you know, end of an era to see Boss out of the top 10. Carl's out of the top 10. I'm 22nd now. You know, shouts to Kratos, who's climbing the ranks, 12th place now. Great stuff. And we actually see Wouter Jansen is out of the top 100 now. And there was a bit of a concerted effort to do this and, like, beat his times and push him out. But the legendary Wouter Jansen the guy who has set more world records than anyone in the game's history is now out of the top 100. And that is certainly the demarcation of the end of an era. So remarkable stuff for that. You know, what can you possibly say? Okay. The rankings, do I have a few more? Okay. 2 more shout outs to give. A lot going on in the community and so on. Shout outs to Matt Pledge, who got Jungle 49 as his first world record. So believe it or not, there's still guys out there playing the game and getting their first world record. And I know that was a big thing with SPEEDLORE in the past, is like people thinking like, oh, it's too far gone. Can I really join and play? What's the point? Is such a thing possible? And yet, look, there's this Matt P. Let's watch his run. Seems to have a Popeye's candy stick he's chewing on. And Jungle Agent going for 49.
Well, I was going to try cleaning it tomorrow. Might as well try and get it to work, but I used to have 2 and I just can't find the other one anywhere. I've got a feeling my brother's taking it for his N64. Even though he's got no games that even use it, but I think he's the sort of guy that would have one just in case.
Wow, I'm impressed. He thinks, oh my god, it has a chance.
No boost towards the ladder. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's fucking go! Yes! Yes! Ah! Just like that! Oh my fucking god, dude. Just like that! Fuck, oh my god, dude. What in the fuck?
Amazing stuff. A huge, great job. Retronomicon. I love his room setup too. It's very nice. It's like a good blend of like very well organized for a guy, but not like, you know, I'll say pretentiously so. We saw Amazon boxes and stuff. It's like the perfect blend. I respect that immensely. And I respect his gameplay skills as well. Getting his first world record, Jungle 49, a very good time. Wow, he's going ham, going for the records. So yeah, again, like, you know, he's one of a few players who took up the game late and yet has still been able to, you know, etch his name in the history books here and there a little bit, which is pretty cool, no doubt about that. So great job to Matt P. for the Jungle Agent 49. A huge thanks in chat to Manitou Black for your super chat. Thanks for documenting this game, the game's storied 30-year history, as well as providing a window into the personalities, struggles, and triumphs of the game's leading runners over the years. Thank you very much, Manitou Black in chat. That is truly and deeply appreciated. Very, very nice. Yeah, thanks to you. Thanks to all in chat participating today. One more gentleman I want to show is this guy, Amiral Baptiste Remerand, GoldenEye Times. I wonder if we translate into this in French, what it would be. Les records GoldenEye de Baptiste Remerand. So the thing that's cool with this fellow is he joined in 2021, but kind of stopped, and now he's picked up activity again here in 2025. Just starting to get involved and play, and he, if you'll notice, none of his times in 2021 were worth points, but he finally got his first points with Runway Secret Agent 23. Hey, that's a time that many of us have done for first points. Here's Amiral. And so look again. People think, how can I break into the top 100? Can I even get a time worth points? Well, even still, there are fellows like Baptiste Amiral who have done it. He missed the boost. Career time. He's played for 6 days of GoldenEye. It took him a week solid of playing. Yet, he gets a couple boosts, completes the nade throw.
I missed the hut boost, so I don't know. I missed one boost, to be honest.
And we can see he's very happy.
Ah, fuck.
There you go. It's so funny. It brings me back to almost October 9th, 2025. Okay, I know this is about Amiral, but I just have to look this up for my own sake, because I think this could be funny. My first world record was Runway Secret Agent 23, and it was done October 5th, 05. So just almost exactly 20 years earlier. But, you know, so he was 20 years late to the party, but still an exciting time for him. Getting a time that's worth points, being happy about it. And he shared this cool picture. A family photo that's him on his father's lap as a young boy. And his father and uncle are playing the game of GoldenEye 007. And isn't that what it's all about? You know, bringing it full circle. He grew up playing the game. There he is, enjoying it, wondering what his father and uncle are doing in France on a PAL console. And then, 30 years later, he's here playing it and getting a time that is a very respectable personal record on the stage. And I think that's a very cool thing to ponder. And so there's still some room to participate and play the game if that's what you're looking to do. Many resources, more than ever before, to get yourself involved and learn a bit of speedrunning GoldenEye 007. So there you are. I think with that, I think it will conclude our wonderful year in review episode. A huge thanks to all of you in chat for watching, those who are commenting on main or on the SPEEDLORE channel when I re-upload it there. A huge thanks to the SPEEDLORE Legends, Champions, and channel members. I'll have to add the fellows from tonight into this end card now. And thanks to everyone who has come along on this insane journey of GoldenEye 007. Good luck to Mr. Moxie, who's making it a goal for 2026 to get his first points. So who knows what'll happen. Only time will tell, and I'll certainly be there to remark upon it all. I will, I'm gonna do GoldenEye SPEEDLORE soon. I'm gonna come back to GoldenEye SPEEDLORE, whether it's person by person, whether it's level by level. We will see how it is, my friends, but it'll be remarkable, and that's what I want to do. So, did Irie just get Streets 154 just now? I mean, there you go. A lot of new records still happening to this very day, whether they're now or days, months, years, or decades ago. But thank you all for watching, my friends. There's to 2025. Here's to 2026. Thank you for watching. Stay true, my friends. And I will see you in the next stream, video, or fireside. Good night. Wow. I will stay and hang out for a little bit. So let's just do this and ponder for a bit. So this is what's funny, Spudnik, I'll tell you. I'll hang out and debrief with chat for like 10-15 minutes. So, I don't know, I haven't been playing too much. When I do play, it's usually like record footage for something, you know? Now, what I'll say about that is, I want to play through Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I bought it on GameCube. My GameCube failed, but I could set it up on my Wii. At some point, I will set it up and play through Toadstool Tour. There's also the possibility that it comes out on Switch Online, which would make it very easy for me to play, especially as I have this beautiful thing, GameCube Switch Online controller, so I could very easily play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I would love to play it on stream. What I will say is this. When I do live streams here on this main channel, I prefer them to be sort of more content style streams, right? There's algorithmic reasons for this and all this stuff. But if I ever do like speedrun attempts again or casual playthroughs, I will probably do them on another channel or platform. And in that case, I kind of want to do them on Kick and Rumble and try to build a bit of a presence there. You can see in the bottom right corner, I have a banner there on the stream. So if you look at that, if you go to those platforms and search Gamer Folklore, which is the same tag I use here, you should find my channels there. On Kick. Rumble might be harder. You might have to have like /c/ or something, or user or channel or something, I forget. On Rumble, search Goose's Gamer Folklore, you'll find them. I'm uploading my old videos there too. So if and when I stream like hanging out, gaming sesh for 3 hours, that's where that'll be. On those two platforms. And then any cool things that I come across and can kind of contentify will be here. Sewell, yeah, feel free to email me that, Sewell. I will, you filmed a documentary in Ukraine? Yeah, oh, if you filmed it, feel free to drop a link in chat. I'll check it out. Email me as well if you wish, whatever you prefer. That'll be cool. And yeah, look at this insane... I literally... The videos I'm working on right now on my main channel, and I know January is the time that people traditionally don't post much because the ad revenue is at its lowest, but it's also a good time, like, fewer people are posting, so it's a good time to like, catch new... Oh my god, that... Wow. That guard could have passed him away. I'm working on 4 videos. 2 hours of GoldenEye facts. This guy's insane DLTK fast animation, like craziest feat in GoldenEye history. Exploring the comfiest winter locations on N64. And a Majora's Mask rabbit hole deep dive. Those are the 4 that I'm working on here. Like next, basically. I'll do those 4 and then get into like the next SPEEDLORE episode, I think. So that's the plan on this channel. And that's crazy. So I can't believe you went over there and saw those things. No, it's all good. I mean, the chat's moving pretty slow and comfy, so that's good. And yeah, baby. Till the day we, you know, hopefully we can enjoy a pleasant life. Well, yeah, Moxie, I go with comfy. Comfy's kind of the more of the internet term, I believe. And it may actually be just like actually more of exploring winter locations on N64 and then sort of like rating their comfiness. Wow. I might have to add that. I probably can't get there myself, Hunter Miller, because I don't know it enough. I can't play through the game enough to get there, but I could like find video footage of it and comment for 2 or 3 minutes. But that's a good suggestion. There you go. So I want to do that. I'm kind of in a new area, and I just like physical location. As you can tell, this is not my usual stream layout. So I've been needing to. I just set up my N64 with EverDrive. Yeah, good night, Sewell. Take care. Thanks for everything. Stay true. Stay true, baby. Yeah, Smithy. So I would actually rate both of them as not very comfy, personally. But I know. Yeah, Hunter Miller. If I cover it, I will post your comment and be like, here's one that I received as a comment in my live chat. Bomberman 64 Ice White Glacier level. Thank you, Manitou Black. I appreciate that very, very much. I do. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing. And I appreciate you being a big part in why I can continue to do that and tell stories and all that kind of stuff, you know. I really do appreciate it. So thank you very, very much for that. Yeah. I will stay until 30. So it's 26 now on the clocks. Yeah, so let me see. I'll pull up the Google Doc I have, because like that's how I write my scripts in Google Docs. The locations I have are Majora's Mask Mountain Village, Frizizi Peak, Mountain Mayhem in Real Adventure Racing, Frosty Village, Surface One Crash Site, Frappe Snowland, Sherbertland, possibly Chilly Waters in Mario Party 3, and a couple more that I'll leave untold. So that will, yeah, that's funny that you had Mountain Mayhem as well, Valium. Can you link this channel? Okay, sure. Yeah, this channel's Chizo, man. Let's see. This should be it. Honestly, yeah, check out his videos and stuff. Yeah, so Jack, I might just like have it super low stakes and be like cozy or not cozy, you know? Like, and not even like maybe a tier list. Maybe just like, is it cozy or not cozy? I don't know, something silly. But that's what people just I get. Like YouTube now is almost a lot of some of it's great content. A lot of it is just like people want just a comfy, low stakes thing on in the background, and I'm fine to provide that as well with a bit of storytelling and so on. Thank you, Sam Bruner. Appreciate that. Very much so. And snowboard kids, 1080 snowboarding. There's that's so cool, Ludosis. I'm gonna have to watch that. Oh yeah, Diddy Kong Racing 100%. I mean all of the winter levels, but I have a video about that already. The Christmas vibes of Diddy Kong Racing. Continuation of DLTK SPEEDLORE. I think I covered like a lot of it, Grandpa Connors. I think I covered most of it. Did I? So if anything, I might do a few like full videos about this. Fast Animation DLTK. And who knows? But I'm definitely going to do more lores, more stuff like that this year. And yeah, all that kind of good stuff. I'll stay for one more minute, then put on my end screen. I am, after this, I should be able to still catch most of the Leafs game, maybe the end of this NFL playoffs game, and get to editing the condensed and produced version with titles for the SPEEDLORE channel on YouTube. So there you go. Well, yeah, Moxie, there's some obscure games with like a random comfy winter shack, like Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, and that kind of thing. So we'll see how much I get. I might make this like an hour-long video, honestly, because that's sort of the meta of YouTube at this point in time. Okay, Grandpa Connors, N64 Iceberg is like, I gotta do that. I'm also working on this Olympics Iceberg. but I might like need to launch a new channel for that, and so I'm just like trying to figure out everything to do, how to order it all. I do want to get to the N64 Iceberg. Maybe one of these nights I'm just going to knock it out and do it. I did a full recording of it in the past, but the audio sucked. Maybe I could restore the audio. I never really knew too much, but now it might be doable. There's more, tools out there to restore audio. Yeah, so there's some interesting possibilities. It's still on my mind, believe me. So that'd be a funny one. Spudnik Leisure, all the goose locations of streams ranked. That'd be epic. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. A huge thanks to you all for watching and hanging out. I will be back soon. I should stream again on main, more of a hangout stream some night, maybe a playthrough one time, and all that stuff. Yeah, I will. Hunter Miller, I'm definitely going to add that in there, 100%. Obscure background shacks in N64 Iceberg. That'd be sick, Mr. Moxie. That'd be so sick. Yeah, I'll be back in due time, my friends. A huge thanks to you all for staying true and watching. Hit that sub button, hit that like button, watch my stuff, get my channel embedded in your algorithm so you always see my stuff when it comes out. Stay true, my friends, and I will see you in the next stream or video.